world. What's happening?
Hey everyone,
How you
what's
doing?
up Facebook? What's up Twitter? Hey
Oh my
YouTube. Hey, we live. We
Hello,
live.
hello.
Welcome to
we
Keeping
here.
It 100.
We are
Oh
having
my
some
God.
technical difficulties, guys. So if it sounds really
Sorry we
crazy,
late,
that would be
y'all.
why.
But you know we wasn't gonna leave y'all hanging, leave y'all stranded.
Okay. Y'all know we was
Okay.
Ooh, why is my phone randomly just calling people? What is okay? So welcome back, people. It's Thursday. It's a quarter to seven, so we're late. We're like really late.
So how about we just
But
get straight to it?
it's the last week of Black History Month, so we got to be here to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Sean, I'm gonna turn it on over to you for your what's up with that? What's up with that?
Well, what's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Listen, I'm gonna go ahead and jump straight into it because I already know we kind of running behind. But y'all know I'm already out in the streets. I'm trying to get the latest guys, the latest stuff that's going on with the culture and the community. So I'm gonna start off just by talking, about Gladys Knight, who will be performing at the performing the national anthem at the 2021 NBA All-Star Game. I don't know if y'all like even fans of Gladys Knight or like if y'all even listen to her music, but like I'm super ecstatic about this. I think she deserves it, to get this moment right now. Her voice alone for me is just amazing, and just to hear her be able to do the national anthem alone at this game is be like it's going to be a big thing for me. Like I'm ready to see it. I'm really ready to see it. I want to know if she really can do this live right now. I'm saying she don't got a little older in age,
A
like
little.
her voice, but she still can sing though. Her voice still sounds good.
The national anthem is arranged, and we saw Gladys. We saw Gladys on the Patty and Gladys verses, and Gladys can't do everything Gladys used to be able to do. Now I'm all for Gladys doing the national anthem, but if I'm
Right.
gonna get up there and sing the national anthem, I need her to have the range from the beginning to the end, and I don't think she got it. But
Mm.
shout out to Gladys,
Mm.
Midnight Train to Georgia. I mean, Auntie deserves
Wow.
it.
Oh my God, no.
We'll see.
Wow.
We'll see. I'm excited though.
I'm excited to see. What y'all think about it, Bryce? What you think?
I don't know. I'm kind of nervous about it. I feel like there's some other people that would have came to my mind first
Yeah.
before Gladys Knight.
Who
Like
you might
who?
be would have
Wait,
picked?
name names.
I about to say yeah.
I would have, you know what, to sing the
Patty.
national anthem, I would have preferred to either have who hasn't done it yet. That's the problem too. That's probably why they picked her because everybody did it.
And it's in Atlanta, that's her hometown. So maybe,
Patty can't do the
maybe.
national anthem. Patty does way too much. We cannot have that lady rolling around.
Hey, she gonna
No.
take her
Be
shoes off.
fair. Be fair. Be fair. It's a lot of
Patty
good
would shut
national
I
that
anthem
wouldn't
in
down.
the
mind
yeah.
hearing like Anita Baker. I like Gladys though, so I'm not mad. But is she bringing the pips? That's all I want to know.
Mm-mm. I hope
I
she
think
That's
it's
just.
her
all I
by
want to
herself. I think it's her
know.
by herself on this one.
It's
I
not.
don't. I don't
It's
think it's gonna be the same.
That's not a
Yeah.
song for low register people. But anyway,
That's what I'm trying to say.
um,
Like,
Really
and there's
though.
nothing wrong with singing in a low register.
mm-mm.
You
It's
just gotta
just
know how to do it.
It's just not. That's not for
very
low register
monotone, you
people.
think?
Hmm.
maybe maybe she'll do like Jasmine, because Jasmine kind of did it and messed
But
around with it and
she was
played
at
with
the
it.
Super Bowl already.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No,
But
Jasmine, the way that Jasmine did it was smart because she
yeah,
knew her
Okay.
voice and she knew her range,
Hello?
and she still
And that's
tore
why
it
But
we
up.
I feel
love
like she
her.
should have did
I
that by
don't appreciate
herself.
her. I don't appreciate them partnering her up with somebody else. Like she could have did it
Neither.
Yeah, she
herself.
should have. She should have did that by herself.
Yeah,
Like
she
All
should
by
have did it by
herself.
herself.
no cap.
Y'all know how I feel about Jasmine, so
I'm with you, Justice. Same.
Okay.
yeah.
All right, y'all. So
Price
That's
we
a
tag.
got
nice
that
one.
covered. So y'all already know we're gonna move it real smooth, real clean. Now listen, y'all know that I like to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows I love food. Okay, food makes me happy.
Okay.
Okay,
Don't
so
y'all?
anytime that any restaurant is coming out with something new, I'm gonna hop on it. I'm gonna be on it. And I got a message that was sent to me that told me that Taco Bell is going to be coming out with a new chicken sandwich taco to join the war, because y'all already know it's a war going on right now with these chicken sandwiches between Popeyes, Chick-fil-A. Who else is it? Who else in the game? McDonald's got a new chicken sandwich now.
I have so many questions.
That made my stomach hurt.
What? Yeah, I'm right.
All of it. all of it made my stomach hurt.
So wait, you said
Everybody want to get on Popeye's ride. Let them have that. They don't have a lot.
Okay. Now y'all know I'm good for trying food, but McDonald's giving them a run for their money.
What McDonald's doing?
McDonald's got that new spicy chicken sandwich deluxe.
Yes.
I haven't had it, but it just sounds trash.
It's
Like
it started
It's
with the wrong
amazing.
words, McDonald's, and was then followed by spicy.
I'm not gonna sit here. I'm not gonna sit here and play
that's the part that
like
gets you.
I'm not gonna sit here and play like I don't eat McDonald's. You know, on a rail late night sneak tip when the cookout line is just way too long.
Okay.
I mean,
A fresh fry.
I'll go to McDonald's. I ain't gonna sit here and play like I ain't gonna do them like that. I eat
A
McDonald's.
fresh fry.
I will, and I have. I need like the tried and trues. Give me my.
I mean, that quarter pounder is good. So I'm
That was God.
But,
I'm really curious to know how it's like a chicken taco sandwich.
that's what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah, like
I think the shell is going to be the actual chicken. So I think the shell is going to be the actual chicken, and then they're going to put everything else
inside.
Wait.
So it's like a chicken breast shaped like a taco shell.
Got you.
No.
I don't want it.
no.
Respectfully declined. No.
I don't want no parts. I don't want
Deeply.
no parts of that.
No, y'all can don't act like that. Come on,
No.
you just gotta give it a try.
But it would be
Until you
serious
try
to
it.
dip. Like that sounds serious to like dip into something. That sounds like.
Like a piece of whole chicken breast with the fillings in the
Listen.
inside.
But that's what I'm trying to like imagine eating it. Like it's just gonna be this greasy piece of chicken because it's Taco Bell, so it's gonna be raggedy as hell. And then
Listen, when I go to Taco Bell, I didn't want a taco, a chalupa, or a burrito. That's it.
That's it.
If I want chicken, I know where to get my chicken from. Like,
stay in your lane. Do what you do well. Right.
Okay.
What you was selling it, some people feel like whatever the restaurant was selling before, don't try to step in nobody else's lane. If you're not meant to be selling tacos, Jack in the Box, don't be selling tacos.
They sell egg rolls too, Jack in the Box.
Girl,
Like,
no.
come on, like
No.
they're trying to put everything on the menu at once. Like, come on, I'm baffled already. I don't know what to pick. I'm losing my head. Like, come on, like you confusing me with this extra stuff you put on your menu. Like, I don't like all of that.
Lord. Rice, my stomach hurt.
Oh my goodness, y'all.
What you got? What else you got for us, babe?
So. I'm talking to my North Carolina people with this last one. Y'all already know after tomorrow, some of us feel very, very different about the situation, but we are off our curfew tomorrow. Okay, there will no longer be a curfew. The curfew is being lifted. However, the bars do have to stop selling alcohol at 11, and the clubs can now stay open later past 10 o'clock. I am a host at clubs and I host a lot. So for me, that means I get to make my extra money again that was taken out of my pocket, y'all. So I'm just being honest when I say this. I'm a little happy. Yes, I know COVID is real. I know COVID is still going on. However, I know to still wear my mask. Okay. I know how to follow procedures and do what's right like I've been doing the entire time since COVID's been going on and I've been out at these spots. So I don't know how y'all feel about it, but I wanted to see y'all opinion on the situation.
As soon as I heard curfew lifted, I heard like, I don't like nothing about it. I feel like we still need to like chill out. Like this is like people. We have hit 500,000 like deaths just in I think in our state alone. Like
true.
People really die. Like people are really dying from this. Like it's real and it's scary and it's a horrible thing to go through.
Yeah,
that's why I'm like, we didn't do what we were supposed to do even when we were like on lockdown. People were still sneaking and having parties. So it's like, I don't know. I don't feel good about it.
That's why I'm kind of stuck in between because it's like, regardless if you tell them not, when you tell people not to do something, especially us Black people. We hard headed, okay. We gonna go against the grain. You telling us not to party. We gonna hey baby, we still want to have a good time and turn up. Like, we gonna find a way to do something.
Their hair done.
Okay. What you say, Patrice?
What?
It ain't right. I said you saw those Trump supporters out there mad because they couldn't get their hair done. You saw it.
Lord. But that's crazy.
Quiet on that one. Listen.
That is crazy. But Lord,
People are local. I was
Mm-hmm.
trying to say hey to Zane a while ago. You look nice. I like the haircut.
Oh, I appreciate you, Patrice. I was trying to spit to you earlier, but you played me, so it's
You
okay.
did. You
I
straight
was really
ignored
I
trying
have
to,
him.
played
pour
myself.
a little game
Okay,
on
I
there.
have played myself. I can't even log on to my VMware. I don't even know what to do right now.
One of those days.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're here. It's one of those days.
Welcome,
Thank
welcome,
you.
welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Good to be here. Good to be here.
Everybody
Yes.
knows this is our last week of Black History Month, and we
Mm-hmm.
have been doing our series on Young, Gifted, and Black. It's been
Mm-hmm.
a great time. So I would like to introduce you guys to our last guest. This is Mr. Zaine Williams. Mr. Williams is a corporate professional.
Ah,
Mm-hmm.
Patrice, I'm gonna introduce myself. I can already tell this is going wrong. This is going wrong.
I'm sorry. I
So
told you I
Zane,
couldn't get in. I
tell us
have
about
all
yourself.
my
Who are
information
you?
is
What you
like
do?
locked in my computer.
Right.
Wait, y'all were both talking.
Go
I'm so
ahead, Zane.
sorry. What now?
I said, tell us about yourself. Like, tell us a little about yourself. Who are you? What did you do? Like, let's get an introduction.
Sure. So Zaine Williams said I am an accountant. So I guess yes, that does make me eligible to be considered a professional. One of the big piece of why I'm here is because the reason I'm successful is being authentic. We're going to get into that. So that's why I wanted to introduce myself, because authenticity is so important to me. And sometimes if you let your story get told by others, it's not how you want to be. So the last piece about me is being a professional. Before that, I'm an excellent Black gay man. Those are the very first three things about me. Then the last piece, I guess, as it relates to this topic is yes, I am professional. I have all of these different kind of nuances of my, I guess, you could say identity. And within that, I always try to see how all of those can relate and be related to make the best version of me that makes me the most relatable. So the reason that I wanted to really come here today is because I think sometimes there's separation within our community. I know often we think about blacks versus whites,
All the
gays
time.
versus straights, but even within our Black gay community, there's that social stratification. As your professionals or your bougie girls, then you have your bands, your girls. You have, but in the actuality, we're all one community. And so I'm here to show, like, hey, I'm able to also be a professional, but I can also I'm not going to. I'm just here to be my authentic self. I don't want to stay on the topic of professionalism. Yes, I'm going to address that, but I just want to talk about the things that are relevant to our community, make us amazing.
Mm-hmm. But we're gonna stay on that topic because now I want to know, how was your transition to corporate America, and how hard was it for you to climb that ladder?
So I'm still very much so climbing. I was fortunate that I would say that transition into corporate America wasn't hard. And I always recognized the privilege that was in that. So a little about my story. I went to school in Kansas. I'm from the middle of nowhere. After school, is that just me, or do y'all hear like somebody's garbage? You hear it too? It's either gonna be Patrice or Justice, but I'm judging low key. It's Patrice. No, Justice, you chewing on the speaker?
Oh God,
Mute your mic real
it's
quick,
so
Zane.
bad. I'm trying. It won't let me.
Maybe it's Zane. Is it me? Uh, uh, no, it's not. I was about to say I'm not about to play myself. Okay. No. Okay, so Bryce, go back into your question. I'm sorry. You were saying,
Yes.
oh, my transition. So my transition wasn't hard. I take that as I recognize that privilege. So I started in Kansas. I was recruited by the firm that I work for in New York. I was able to move to New York City, and I started working there for the first 5.5 years. That was definitely, I say that was the harder transition, transitioning from Kansas to New York rather than transitioning into corporate America, because that's a different culture altogether, very fast paced, very cutthroat, everyone's excellent, and they recognize that and very confident. Coming out of Kansas, I was always the only Black person there. I wasn't out when I was in Kansas. I was still, that very Midwestern, down low, not wanting to recognize who I was. And then when I went to New York, I was able to kind of be my full self. And in that, that's what really I think helped accelerate my career or really get me recognized in all the different ways that I've been recognized, is because I was able to be my full self and brought my full self to work. And that allowed me to, I think, just pass by my peers.
Awesome.
That answer your question?
Yes, it does. It
Okay.
really answered my question well. Also, I wanted to understand, what was the choice of choosing to go into accounting? Was it a personal choice, or was it like your parents told you need to get a good job when you get older? Like, was it like something that you really wanted to do, or was it something like, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna see how it goes?
So it was a mix of both. So yes, my mother did definitely raise me and my brother that if you're gonna go to school and put that money into school, you need to get the return on your investment. So there were certain degrees that we knew we could only get. And so like
Mm-hmm.
my mom was saying, I'm not paying for you to go to acting classes. Shout out to all the people who did go to acting school. I think it's amazing, but Zane couldn't do that. So I had to be, a doctor, an engineer, a lawyer, an accountant. And I went through, I think, all of those. So I did engineering, I did architecture, all those different professional degrees. I took an accounting course later, and it was interesting to me. And then when I got into the tax classes, I actually liked it. And then it was complex, it was always changing, and I liked it because a lot of times in our communities, we don't hear about Black accountants. And then when I heard about how much they can make and get paid, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
sweet. Let me go on and try to get into this, and I loved it.
That's incredible. How has being part of the LGBT community helped or hindered your career? Do you think it has any effect on your career at all?
It has helped tremendously.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know that's correct. Like, I think we always think of identifying as LGBTQ plus as the struggle piece, which don't get me wrong, there's definitely some obstacles in that. But I think there's also some benefits, especially when we take the camaraderie or the brotherhood and sisterhood that can come out of that.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was moving from New York to Charlotte, it was my LGBTQ alliances that helped kind of really get me in the door here. So it was
Mm-hmm.
a gay partner. So a partner in my firm means they're an owner. There was a gay owner in New York. It was Matt Cool who called down a gay partner here. It was like, somebody's coming down there. I want you to meet them. I met him. He took me under his wing, introduced me to everybody. And it was because of my ability to identify and be proud of being gay that set me apart and really connected.
That's awesome. I really,
Networking is always
yeah,
All
important.
about
that's really incredible. I could definitely relate, especially for us as being people who work in the HIV sector. Being part of the LGBT community is really important for our work. So it's good to see a person who is part of the LGBT community, who is outside of human services, social services, that's working in the corporate setting. So I applaud you for that. That's really great.
But now I
So
want to hear, because I'm big on people's stories and authenticity. I want to hear about everybody else's. Yeah, I've been on the last couple of weeks, but I feel like it's always been the other people who've been talking. I want to hear about everybody else because we all represent a different, I think we have nuances of experiences that need to be relayed and shared.
So since we're talking about corporate America, me and Patrice were having this conversation the other day. As a Black man in corporate America, do you feel like you've ever had to code switch?
Okay, I'm
Is it
sorry.
me?
I'm so
It might be
sorry.
me.
Hold on. I'm so sorry. If you are not talking, I need you to mute
We good?
every single time when you're not talking, because this is not working. So if you're not talking right now, please mute. Mute right now. Everybody, mute. Okay, now you can answer your question.
I'm going to go off mute, but can we ask the question one more time? And I'm going to jump back on mute while you ask the question, Justice. I'm sorry.
Got you. I was saying that me and Patrice were having this conversation the other day. Since we're talking about corporate America, as a Black man in corporate America, do you feel like you ever had to code switch to kind of, appease a certain audience at work?
Yes and no. I would say more so in the beginning when I didn't kind of know the lay of the land and I wanted to come up professional. I wanted to feel like I belonged and that my credentials not mattered, but that I was supporting like the person that's on paper is the person who's in the room. And then as I got a little older in the firm, I realized I don't have time for that. That code switching is an emotional tax. You're wearing yourself out, always being cognizant of how am I talking, how am I being presented. When you take confidence in how bomb you are, and you remember I'm here for a reason, and I dare one of y'all to try me. And I think when you can take those different pieces of your personality that's got you that far. So when you think about growing up being Black and gay, one of the first things that you learn how to do is fight. Like that's usually one of the first things that you know how to do. And so when you take that kind of fire that's in you and you sit in that conference room and you're able to be like, no, and then you give them that look like, please try me, like with really nice smile, like I think you realize you don't have to do all that. And when your performance and your work backs up all of that, I mean, it's a game over. What can they do? I mean, yeah, you can wear yourself out in code switch, but you realize you don't need to.
Thank you so much for saying that. I hope everybody in the audience heard that, because that's very important.
That was
I
deep.
think it's very important to always be yourself at work and not always have to check yourself or worry about how other people feel because they can't keep up with what you have going on.
Oh, let me go on mute.
I just call it being myself when I'm professional. I don't really change my personality too much for anybody. I'm the same that I am to them, that I am to my parents, that I am to work, which is probably why I always get in trouble. Oh, shit.
Yes, well, thank you so much. Well, I want it's the season, it's Black Christmas, it's tax season. So I want to get into that. I want to know what's the tea, what's up with the taxes. Can I claim my dog? My
Bryce, what you call? No,
Bryce. So first,
like,
no, Bryce, back up and say that again. What you call it?
Black Christmas.
Okay, hello.
Everybody get new cars. You get a car. You get a car.
Rims on the car.
So here's a little background. Yeah, my background is in taxation. So I'm going to first, though, caveat that with I work in corporate tax. So usually with large corporations. And even within that, I work in the indirect tax space. So what you're talking about is called income tax or direct tax. I'd like to be a tax geek for a quick moment. And so that's when you take your income and you know that you have to pay so much to the federal government due to taxes. And we call that Black Christmas because, yes, Black people, we claim other people's kids. We do everything we need to do to try to get as much money as possible. And so I'm going to just give you high level things that I say to do and not to do. First and foremost, Black people quit paying HR to go get your taxes done. If you are a wage earner, so that means you have a W-2, get on TurboTax and do taxes yourself. Yes, it seems very complicated because that's the game, right? You have to remember HR is a business and they're making money off of people's fear and ignorance. But they say, oh, taxes are so hard to do. We don't know about taxes, so I'm going to pay somebody to do taxes. When you could probably sit on TurboTax, whip out your W-2.
Oh, you need TurboTax. They do it all for you.
And knock it out. And then if you make lower than a certain amount of money, you might be able to do it on the IRS government website. They have a website that's free for filing. So that's, I think, game number one. Do your own taxes. My people, quit claiming other people's kids. I know you're thinking, it's been working this long. There are tests that the IRS and the government have. So like a qualifying relative, a qualifying child that says, is this person actually your relative or actually your child that you can claim? And if you get audited, that can easily be prison, that can be penalties. I mean, they can charge you like 75% of the tax off on that. So I say it's really not worth it. And I know we're always thinking you won't get.
I have always wanted to find me a dependent. That's like been my goal since I was in college, and I haven't gotten a refund. But yet I know so many people that are like, oh yeah, I went and I bought this kid in the neighborhood.
I say find a sugar daddy. Don't do the dependent. If you're gonna go that route.
Oh, ain't nobody got time for that. That's too much. That's too much. No.
I had a client the other day. He told me to say my gas receipts.
Wait, say it again.
I had a client the other day. He said, you need to say your gas receipts. I was like, oh.
So what? You have a client, so that means you have a business. So I was going to say, if you have your own business, or you are a contractor, you have passive income, so like rental income, investments. Then I start saying, okay, you may need to now have somebody do your taxes. But even then, really dependent upon, I think, the volume of transactions that you're doing, the expenses that you have, if you really need to pay somebody else to do those. I think those are where it gets a little complex.
Mm-hmm.
Did I answer your tax question?
Yes, you did.
You guys can always use your gas for work because you actually transport clients and you go back and forth. So yes, you can do that.
Yes.
But
I already filed mine, so it's too late.
A certain amount of money. Huh?
I already filed mine. So
okay.
Word. I haven't filed mine yet. Don't tell me.
I filed mine too.
I'm gonna do mine late March.
So I'm gonna plead the fifth.
On what? She claiming kids. What are you doing?
I wish I was claiming kids. No, I've been paying since I was 20.
What are you pleading the fifth on?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Oh my God, Zaine, can I ask you, what are some specific differences between a W-2 worker and 1099? Like, is it really that different, or are they similar in many ways?
They fucking you over.
I think the question was, what's the difference between a W-2 worker, so an employee, and a 1099? That goes back and forth. I mean, there's been so many court cases on, is an actual 1099 person an employee or worker? And there's some really loose or vague guidance that will say if you're an employee or if you are a worker. In short, generally, if they can tell you what to do, how to do it, when to be there, you're generally an employee. So if you are an employee, that means they need to be giving you a W-2. They need to be withholding tax. But a lot of companies don't want to do that, right? So they want you to just be this independent contractor, meaning we're just going to pay you. You worry about the tax piece. We're not going to do any of that. You have to do, your self-employment tax. You have to take care of all of that. And there's been so many court cases that go back and forth. I hope I helped a little.
You did.
It's horrible that people do that.
But I mean, on the flip side, if you are considered a 1099, so a contractor, you do have the ability to take in your expenses. So employees generally can't deduct their expenses related to work. You can only do that if you're employed or you're a 1099 contractor. So that's one of the benefits. And so it's a different schedule C, but we're not going to get into that. That's tax geek stuff.
So if I work at if I got like 3 or 4 jobs, and at one of these jobs I only make like $20 out the whole year, am I supposed to file that?
Yeah, so you need to file on your gross income. So all of the money that you're making, total that up. Then you go and look at the brackets and to see how much you're going to owe on your taxes. So that $20 added to job 1's income, 2's income, 3 income, 4 income, all needs to be aggregated, and then that's when you're doing your tax calculations on. So yes, even that 20. And I think what you got?
That's awful.
Oh yeah, no, the government doesn't play. I think it's like on all income sources derived or something like that. That's what the reg says.
I thought if you made under a certain amount of money, you didn't have to worry about it. You didn't have to file.
So even then, I would still recommend filing, because what happens is if you don't file, you're open for audit forever. But if you file and it's still zero that you owe, you can start that time. So I think it's only like 3 years that you can be audited for. Wow, you guys are really taking me back to my tax classes. Come on, Zaine. But anyway, if you do file and you still don't owe anything, your tax liability is zero, you start that clock, because I think within 3 years you can't get audited. So I would say even if you make a little bit, go on and file, have that zero, and get that clock started ticking.
I've always wondered, so when you're filing your taxes, I know you get your state and then you get your federal, but I've always wondered, why is the state so low compared to your federal? Maybe, I don't know if that's a crazy question, but I'm just always
No. I mean, that's the state revenue. So one, I have no idea how the state comes up with the amount of taxes that they're going to be collecting for their state income tax, but also states get income from different places. Property taxes, because you think some states don't even have income tax. So like Texas, I think, they don't have income tax, but they get their revenue from property taxes. So there's other sources in which that state government is able to get their income.
They also get their money from election companies.
Oh, I mean,
yes.
And you see how that worked for Texas, Shade. Go ahead.
Can you explain what it means to be a statutory employee? Because I seen that the other day, somebody said, I was filing my taxes and it said I'm a statutory employee, and then they wanted me to file I'm self-employed, but I'm really not.
So I'm going to give you some consultant lingo. Great question. Let me look that up and get back to you, because they don't know. I can Google it and look it up, but a statutory employee, what? Google, what did you look? Because I know you looked it up when you asked me this. What did it say? And I'll see if we can decipher it together.
Hold on, no, let me actually look it up.
Oh, look, he said, we don't take really when it comes back on you want to flip. It was really
from Twitter. Don't play, Hold on, let me.
He said, hold on.
You said it was on Twitter, right?
Again.
Statutory, I'm looking it up, though. That's a great question, though.
Statutory employee. Okay, I got it.
An independent contractor, so 1099 is considered an employee for tax withholding purposes if they meet certain. Although still receive a W-2, but otherwise, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you almost sound like an employee. So you're going to, this is just what I'm reading right now. So Facebook world, do not take me for everything I'm saying right now. Please know, I read this as still you're a 1099, but for tax purposes, you're going to get a W-2 and your company's withholding. So it sounds like you're an employee. But that was off of Google. That's not Zaine. Okay, go. And that's part of that confidence. You know, you got to know what you know and what you don't know. And I'll be quick to be like, that's not me.
Okay.
No cap.
So,
I mean,
what
how long have
I'm
you
very
been?
interested
Actually,
about-
I want. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bryce.
what I'm very interested about is what is your take on the people who took the small business loan during COVID? You know, that $10,000. How you think that's about to play out for some people? In your honest opinion.
How so? What do you mean? How is that going to play out? As in,
Do you think it's going to be deemed as something like, well, do you think the government's going to look like, well, what did you do with the money? Or do you think it's going to be like, oh, well, you just got 10,000 from us and okay.
Okay, so this is what
they're going to get their money.
Oh yeah,
they're going to get that money. That's
so. I don't think the government's going to care that much on the back end about what you did with the money. I think that probably would have been on the front end before you applied for it in order to get the funds. I think that's when the caring came into play. After the fact, it's too late, too little, too late. The money's gone. I thought you were getting ready to ask me how do I feel about some of these larger like corporations and things that were getting the funds when I think there was some other like small mom and pops that were kind of dying and needed the money.
Bullshit.
How do I feel about that? In the game, I always think of life as the game, and especially business. It's the game, and it's not always fair. And either you play or you get played. And so I know that that's harsh, and I know but that's just the reality of it. If they have the people and the resources to dedicate to research these things, to apply for these things, they're going to get the bread. And if you don't, I'm sorry. And I know that that's not right, but that's just the nature of the beast.
Okay, this is maybe. I'm just curious to know this. Why do you think there's a lack of knowledge in the Black community when it comes to even doing taxes? Like some people, when they hear about taxes, they automatically just go to, oh, I'm going to get a refund, not knowing the basics behind it, like what it takes and the calculations that it takes for you to get to that point of getting that refund back. Like, why do you feel like there's a lack of knowledge if you can think of a reason?
Oh, a lot of reasons. I mean, there's a lot of reasons. So if we think about
Black community, it's a lack of knowledge across the board.
I was just about
For
to
a lot of things. If it's not easy and it's not fast, unfortunately, our community and culture feels like it's not worth their time. Every kid out here is walking around with a mini computer. You can literally learn anything. And all these motherfuckers want to do is play games and send pics and be on social media, but you cannot read on a 10th grade level. You think the earth is flat.
I'm about to jump in, but I don't disagree with you. I also, though, take into account, let's look at the history of education as it relates to the Black community. Education, also, when you're talking about taxes, that goes into financial literacy, which goes into the broader picture of education, which we all know is power. And this power was kept from the Black community. And the idea of education was not prioritized for the Black community, and that's trickled down through generations. So then, therefore, unfortunately, we have generations that believe education probably isn't as important, or it's been kept from them, or systemically we're in horrible schools. We don't have access to higher education, things of all these different nature. I'm not making excuses. I'm saying that there's an other side to this that may be a
or if you are smart, they think you're acting white.
Mm-hmm. And that I think also is a play to try to keep Black people from wanting to get educated, right? You have this college versus the street boy. When you think of a college boy, that takes away from their masculinity. It takes away from them being this strong Black man that's put, painted to be the ideal. But when you think about it, it's because if you have educated Black men, what does that do to your structure of the system that's been created, right? Then they have the ability to what? They collaborate, they think together, they're able to then knock the system over, which that system doesn't want to be. So, I mean, I think there's a lot of different pieces at play there.
And there are. So I wanted to stop you because I really wanted you to tell everybody how we actually met and the conversation that we had.
Over. All right, so yeah, this is why I'm really here. So Rain is really close to my heart because of this first interaction that I had. So I moved to Charlotte from New York. One of the first things that I did when I moved to Charlotte was to try the Charlotte social scene. And in doing that, you mingle, you schmingle, and you do things that you probably are going to regret later. One of those things I did regret later. So I had heated fellowship with an individual who I came to find out later, he was HIV positive. Now, if you know anything about my background and my story, that's not the end of the world to me. My father is HIV positive. I understand I've been fortunate enough to, be around these, have these conversations. So somebody tells me that they're positive. My first question is, okay, well, are you detectable? He was like, what's that? I was like, okay. When was the last time you were tested? Are you on meds? Or have you been taking them consistently? I'm just trying to have a conversation, and it was just like it wasn't registering. And then I was like, why did you wait so long? I wish you would have told me, the day of, the day after. Then I can go get PEP. He was like, what's PEP? I was like, what the hell? So that's, fear now. And so I'm like, I need to go get tested. So I Googled Charlotte testing. All of these Charlotte testing sites, they want you to make appointments. They have weird hours. But Rain was like, we can get you in today. Come in. So I came in. That's where I met Patrice. I got tested. So shout out to Rain to having available testing for, I think, all people, but specifically as I think of it as Black and brown men, because I know that we're one of the highest risk categories. But anyway, off of that tangent. So I met with Patrice. I was like, Patrice, what the hell is going on? How am I down here in the South and people don't know, being paused, being detectable? How do they know you equals you? Why don't they know about the services they're being? And she was like, you are in a different culture. And I said, I want to get involved because one, I guess I've been spoiled to be like, I've always been around HIV and AIDS awareness. Two, when you're in New York, it's sponsored, number one, so it's a big deal. It's on trains, it's on buses. So we have these conversations. The stigma is a lot different than it is here in the South. We're able to have, churches talk about it, churches fundraise for it. And it's just like here, it's just a totally different thing. So I think that's how we got connected, Patrice. Did I hit on everything?
You did. But again, I was so surprised, but yet so happy when you knew as much as far as the lingo for what you were talking about and the questions that you were posing to this individual, because you're right. Most people don't know the answers to those questions, nor do they care to know. And I think people that have a knowledge of HIV, that is a little upsetting. You know what I'm saying? It could get better. It could be eradicated, but you gotta follow the steps. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I think having these conversations helps end that stigma. I think part of the reason why people don't know is because they don't want to know. And if they think that ignorance is a bliss in that ignorance, and oh yeah, I don't know if I'm positive or not. And if I don't know I'm positive, I'm going to assume I'm not. And therefore I don't have to deal with the stigma. But when you're like, bro, if you're positive, that's cool, but we need to get you on treatment, right? We need you to be out here. We got to lower your, I mean, it's just that type of conversations, that understanding, that authenticity. And I think comfort within the community is necessary.
Completely so. For here, it would be so much of a struggle to get a church to be involved in HIV awareness. I know this because we have a board and they have a task group that is about getting churches involved and doing us coming in as the outreach team, doing an HIV 101, talk about what you can do for your community, just let people know what's going on. When I tell you.
So that could be a whole topic, the church and the Black gay community. And when I was talking about intersectionality and like these different facets of our life, a lot of us grew up in the church. I mean, the church is supposed to be the backbone of the Black community. Little background on me.
I'm an atheist.
Shout out to, I mean, I get it. I'm now agnostic. Like, shout out to whoever's up there. And organized religion, oh man, that's a totally different conversation. But anyway, so background, my grandfather is a Church of God in Christ pastor. I grew up in that. If you know anything about that, it's ran by the gays, quiet as it's kept, but they shun the gays. But I mean, that's a totally different story again. But anyway, when you're saying that the Black church is silent on this, you're absolutely correct. And one, it's killing their Black church. So not only Black men, but Black women. And then two, when you have something like HIV that is running through your communities and you are ignoring it, you're doing a disservice. And so one of the things that I'm also very passionate about is in those different kind of strongholds of the Black community, getting these conversations to be had. So one, I'm really push straight Black men to have these conversations, straight Black men, the Black church, straight Black women to be having these conversations, because I think the Black gay community, we're talking about it, but it's not enough for us. And it needs to be the whole community that sees the importance of this.
Well, since we're taking it to church,
come on.
Can you write off your tithes?
You can. Okay, so let's talk about those deductions. So, if you're there's a standard deduction that the government allows every year. I don't know what the amount is, but if that amount that you're giving, so if all of your personal deductions, like tithes, you were talking about your like gas and mileage. If that is greater than that standard deduction, then you can take that other amount. So your tithes amount, if it's greater than the standard deduction, you can use that amount.
Mm-hmm.
And your offering.
What about divorce? You know, my husband, you know, he still pay me like a little alimony or whatever. Do I have to like let them know that?
Yes.
Mm.
All sources of income derived. Yeah. But you tried it.
Right,
You
she be having the questions, she be having the scenarios. I be loving it.
Okay.
like, well, what?
Do I also gotta let them know about my child support?
No shade.
Ooh.
What if we didn't go to court, but he gave me like a couple of like $1.
I think legally, if he gave you the money,
Mm-hmm.
I would play it. Okay, this is recorded. So I think it's best practice to probably report all of income, no matter where it's derived, but then look and see if child support are one of those things in which can be excluded. That's what I would say on the record. Now, if they're gifting it to you,
it's silent.
am
That's
I on
it.
mute?
Next caller.
That's between you and God. You, God, and the IRS. But I would recommend reporting it unless it's excluded, unless it's specifically excluded in the regulations.
Am I able to write off like donations to Plato's Closet and Goodwill and stuff like that?
So 50, don't quote me on the number, but those C, basically, what are they called? 501c? Is that what it's called, I think? Yes, but I don't think Plato's Closet is considered 501. Is it? I don't know. I don't
Wouldn't
know
it be like
what it is.
Goodwill?
No, it has to be a nonprofit.
That's nonprofit. So 501. So like American Heart
Salvation
Association, Salvation
Yeah,
Army.
Goodwill.
But isn't
stuff like
Plato's
that.
Closet where you sell clothes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that would count. I think that's a business.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. They don't.
But you tried it. I mean, you're creative.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what has really upset me. I donated to so many organizations this year. Only at the end of the year to find out they are not tax deductible.
Oh yeah, you need to find that out up front before you give your money.
I mean, I'm giving to like, you know, the election shit and
I mean, if the cause is important to your heart, it shouldn't matter.
That's true.
It shouldn't.
Right. One of the black something, they put out all the little information. You know, I donated to them, but see, that's it. They don't tell you until tax season. Oh, by the way,
because they're
not. Yeah,
I think they're on what Bryce is saying. They're thinking the cause is what is like igniting your fire to give, not that you're going to get a tax deduction. But I say if that's important.
That inspired the first give, but all of those rest of those gives run me my change.
We live in a country where the only people that can say poor people is other poor people. You get what I'm saying? Like, this is the country we live in. They got the money up here and they're like, oh girl, we see your house on fire, but go ask your neighbor.
But see, I don't know. That's a totally different topic. I feel like that's a topic for a whole nother, because I believe in the distribution of power. Those with that privilege need to take it upon themselves to distribute it. That's the same as with social issues. Like, I think cis men, they need to fight for trans. I think white men need to fight for blacks. Black men need to fight for black women. That privilege and that power that you have needs to be distributed. So I think they're the same as with money, but that's a totally different. I can go off on many of these.
Equality would be good across the board.
Wouldn't it be nice?
It'll never happen until, you know, the aliens come out and they're like, either get it together or die. How you want it? Now, when that happens, motherfuckers is gonna be holding hands and singing "Kumbaya, my lord."
They had the atheists saying "Kumbaya, my lord."
You heard it.
So wait, I have a question. When we're thinking about the mission of RAIN and things like that, what can your Black professionals or those that are in the identity of professionals do to help further this cause?
One way we could do is that show people how we engage in our care by keeping ourselves healthy, how they could also help the community engage in their own care. Like, lead an example, like, in a way, we're peers, we relate, we're both Black men, and we both need to get this care. So let me show you how I handle it with what I have to access, and you have the same tools to access it, so that way we can really engage in our care. Also, too, just relating and sharing your personal experiences with them, and then also to putting people on, educating people. You know, if somebody asks you a question about something, tell them. They might sit there and be like, "Oh, wow," but you know, if somebody came up to you like, "Oh, how'd you do that? How'd you get this?" Explain it to them. And I feel like a lot of times people are too scared to ask somebody how to explain to do something, because they feel like,
Because there's too many people that look down on them.
Yeah, they feel like, oh, you're trying to get my business. And it's like, no, sometimes people genuinely just want to know and they want to understand. So I think that's one way, us being Black professionals at Ring, is how we contribute to our community.
A lot of times, like even branching off what Bryce said, just engaging with the community a lot and showing that we're relatable and like equal. I know for me personally, I've shared plenty of my stories to let people know, like, hey, I literally was handpicked out of the community. I was just one club head that was out partying, enjoying life, just doing my own, Yes, I was. I just came from working at, Coca-Cola corporate. I felt like I had to do the code switching thing in order to fit in and actually work that job. But I got tired of it quick because I didn't want to keep being that person. So, when I got the opportunity to apply for this job, and they literally let me be authentic to who I am, I'm like, listen, this is what we need. We need more people like myself out in the community that we really can go out here and relate and really talk to these people and not walk up to them like, hey, my name is Tyler and I'm just trying to do this today. Like, it just doesn't, it doesn't fit. You know what I mean? Like, it's different when you literally have somebody who's out here. Like, literally, I'm out here. Everybody knows who I am. So it's like, hey, I'm right here with you, baby. We gonna take this road together. I'm gonna hold your hand until you feel like you don't need me to hold your hand no more. That's cool. As long as you got me right here by your side, I'm gonna stay with you. You fall, I'm falling with you. I'm gonna pick you up. You know what I mean? So that's just how I feel about it.
I think one of the things that a lot of Black professionals lose is the common Black people, the people that may live in the projects, the kids who go to bad schools, the people that nobody really wants to deal with and everybody wants to look down on. When Jasmine was on here, she was saying the same thing about people that are housing insecure. Don't try to make them less than human. They already ain't. What do you mean? Everybody is human. Everybody puts pants and shirts on as long as you got the, digits to do it. But that level of just being a human being, especially from somebody that is in your culture, somebody that looks like you, it is heartbreaking. I used to teach. It is heartbreaking to have a kid tell you that the teacher told him he was going to be in jail just like his brother and sisters. This is a child in middle school. Why would you tell him that? He already know his family is fucked up. But then you just want to go ahead and say, oh, you're just like the rest of them. Where is the future for them to dream if they don't get it from people who have it, because they're not getting it at home? For me, that's what professional and being someone who's, whether it's college or whether it's a life degree, give back. Every little bit counts. You know what I mean? An hour out of your week at some kid's school, eating lunch and talking to them about making them feel like somebody gives a fuck about them. That could change that kid's life, literally. Okay, I'm finished with my rant.
But thank you so much for expressing that, Patrice, because it was true and it needed to be heard and it needed to be shared. Everybody say bye to Sean.
Yeah, I know I gotta go host tonight at Club Churches. If you're available, come out to karaoke night. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
But honestly, Patrice, thank you for saying that. One thing that I really hate, especially since we're talking about being an employee and working, I hate job shaming. Nothing really bothers me more when somebody tries to put somebody else down for where they work. Mm-hmm. Like, nothing hates, like when you somebody have an argument like, yeah, bitch, that's why you work at at the end of the day, nothing is promised. Your back could be up against the wall. Hey, hey, I heard y'all looking for a general manager. Hey, it's me. And I would hate for somebody to try to shame me for actually wanting to work a wage and do the right thing to try to provide for myself. So I thank you for saying that, because I feel like there is a lot of stigma and shame as it relates to specifically our Black community, and I feel like everybody is trying to look like I'm not that Black person, I'm this person, and I'm here, you there, and I left that, and I'm right here, and I'm above that. And I'm somebody who I've seen that a lot because I'm a person who grew up Black middle class. Zaine, earlier you remember you said your mother was not going to pay for your education for something that that had no investment. I had the privilege to go to school, do whatever I want, and still have my parents still pay for it. Like, I was that child. So I completely understand, and I see, and it really bothers me a lot. So
What?
Chris, thank you for that.
Oh, I thought you were saying that your story bothered you or having that background.
No, oh no. See, it was nice. Come on. However, I had to learn how to accept my own privileges, because yes, I did experience racism being Black, but then I also had to check myself to be like, bitch, you have this. You have parents who can financially support you, pay your education, put you to college. You never ever went without. You never ever had to worry. Like, even if I let my account get low, I knew I was gonna be good, because I was like, hey Dad, how are you? So it's like there was
so jealous.
And when I started working this job, I also had to, it made me check my place, because I'm like, I don't think, why my clients do this, one of the clients? And I'm like, well, they don't have access to the same way you do, stupid. So it's like, you had to, so I'm glad for that experience, and I definitely seen it a lot, because I do have family members who are like, kind of like, we're here and they're there, and then, yeah.
I think that's so important. You touched on that. That as we're talking about different, I want to say facets of life, but you were talking about class, basically, or your socio, you know what I'm saying? How much you make or how much you're worth. That difference in stratification in that. And then when we talk about other different ways, we're talking about, I always bring it to race, sexual orientation. But anyway, what we're all saying is that commonality. That's what's important. And when you focus on that commonality rather than the differences, I think that's where you can get a lot of the progress and a lot of the work. And so when I'm always talking about intersectionality, I'm always talking about identity. I always want you to think about your privileges, yes, how you're different, and then how you can bring those differences to see the commonalities in all the other types of people who might be like, hey, I grew up middle class, or hey, I grew up Black, or yeah, I grew up gay, or yeah, I did this, I did that. See all those commonalities and then use that to tie people together rather than to bring people apart. And that's what I'm always trying to do, be my authentic self in all the million different ways that I can then pull all those different strings to bring people together. And I'm thinking with that, did we go over? Because I see 7:30 in my thing, in the ping, ping, ping. And I hope I did.
Yeah, we're about 8 minutes off, but we can end early if we want.
Oh, no, I'm not. I thought I was trying to wrap it up. I was like, oh, no, we went too long. I can sit here and laugh. And
no, we started 15 minutes late, so you know,
okay. Good. I was just trying to tie it up with a nice bow. You saw how I did that?
For me, I think one of the most disappointing things as an adult and working in a corporate or professional lane is that when you go out, even when you go out, let's say to a nice bar, you know, and when you meet somebody, the first thing they say is, what do you do? None of your fucking business, bruh. What do you mean?
Wait, Patrice. But I also see that as maybe I'm playing devil's
networking.
Boom, networking and trying to find commonalities or trying to find something that they can talk on. Because if you were to tell me what you do and you were like, I work at RAIN, I would naturally be like, well, what is RAIN? And then you would tell me, it's this HIV awareness, and I would be totally interested. Then that would get a conversation going.
I see both sides. I think I understand where Patrice is coming from. I think Patrice comes from a place where you're trying to judge me accordingly based on what I do. And I feel like you're coming from a place like, maybe this person is interested in what I do. So let me tell them what I do so we can network.
Yeah.
No, I'm not that person. If I'm out having drinks, I don't want to talk to you about my job. That's not what I'm here for, bro. I'm trying to chill out and relax.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, I do know. I'm not saying I disagree. I think maybe it's also how they approach you. Because if we're having a drink, I might be like, child, it was a long day. You want to have a shot with me? And then you're like, well, it's a long day. Let me tell you about work. And then, you know, like what you do for work?
I think from my perspective, it's more annoying to me for women to ask men that and then ignore them if the job they don't have doesn't make the money that they feel like they should have. I can't be married to somebody that's blue collar because I make 6 figures. Well, why the fuck not, bitch? You lonely. You always complaining you lonely.
As somebody who has dated somebody who has made more money than me and dated somebody who has made less money than me, first of all, I'm gonna go on record and say I don't need no man. I don't. I will always financially support myself 100%. You know, I don't need that. But I have been in situations where I dated somebody who had made less than me, and then they try to check me about spending money when I wanted to leisure myself. They're like, because they couldn't do the same thing for themselves. And then also dating somebody who made more money than me, I never really had to worry about nothing, but it also made me feel like I don't want him to think that I'm 100% dependent on him. But it is nice dating somebody who doesn't make more money. It's nice. It is nice.
Not as nice.
I'm gonna just be very authentic and honest. I'm not dating. I mean, how did Jasmine say? Broke inwards, you can't catch me. Like,
but how do you define broke? Do you define like by a certain income, or do you define broke about how they're not financially responsible?
No. How you handle your money is your business. This is what I say. Keep up. I like to have experiences. I like to do things, and as long as we're doing them together, and you're not being bothered, and you're not pressed, we're good. The moment that it's an issue that I want to go out to here, or I want to go take this trip here, this ain't gonna work. That's all I think.
I'm very much too independent to let anybody do any of that for me. I don't like it. It makes me feel fucked up on the inside.
What does?
Like I've dated people that make way too much money, but that whole thing of I'm gonna take you out and I'm gonna buy you this and we're gonna no. The whole pedestal shit. I am so over all of that.
That's crazy because if you buy me something, it's mine.
But is that a privilege we have as being men? Yes. Because think about it, we've never had the misconception of being a gold digger. She's out to get me for my money.
Yes, we don't have that. Yeah, we don't.
And I think that it's attributed to more women. So then they may have to think like, I need to make up for that, make sure I'm independent and I'm not taking his money. Because I would take every check. Do you hear me? Dear Facebook world. I'm looking for all rich single bachelors. I'll go back on mute.
Where the money was at?
You don't have to go on mute. There's only 3 of us now. You're fine.
Oh my God.
That was too funny.
But no, that's a totally different topic. I was about to bring something else, but no.
No, it's still on the money.
Is it still on money?
It's still on money, it's still on money, We we talk about taxes, different tax brackets, but
So then question. So you're dating somebody, they make more than you, and they are encouraging you or trying to motivate you to make more. Are we receiving that or are we fighting that?
If I'm content and pleased with my job, I won't receive that. But if I feel like there might be, if I feel like me and him being together, and then I could have a better opportunity and it could really elevate us a little bit more, then I might receive it. It just depends. It really depends on how it's delivered to me. Because do you have a problem with me because you feel like I can't keep up? Do you have a problem with my income because you feel like I can't keep up? Or do you have a problem with my income because you feel like I can actually do better, make more, or do better?
Or are you embarrassed that I don't make as much as you?
That too. That's the third layer.
Or make more as a female. That's a real issue when you're dating someone. But there's nothing like going on a date and they give you the check and I pay for it. That look on a dude's face is priceless.
But the way we're moving now, specifically as it relates to Black women and Black men, Black women are now kind of up making more money and they're actually more educated than Black men now. So they have more access to wealth than Black men. So now we do see Black women dating Black men who make less than them, but they're still taking on that traditional housewife. So like now I'm making more money to you, but I still have to come home, cook, clean, take care of the kids, and you trying to tell me what to do with the money.
But what a lot of Black women have also done is diversify their bonds and started dating white men.
Or them Spanish boys.
Not even that. You have a lot of people that are just nerds. Try being a nerd and talking to the trade about anime. Comic-Con. Dragon Con.
That is okay. Wait. Well, hold on. I want to take so many steps back. But first, yes, no, that is a struggle. But wait, first, why is it in our community when our partner tries to help us, we take it as an attack? Because that's what I was trying to get to.
Okay.
I don't think I would take it as an attack unless somebody looked at me and said, well, this is what I'm making and this is what I'm doing. So if you want to stay with me, then I'm going to need you to catch up. That is not the way.
Fair. I agree. I
That's
do
not
that.
the way.
I agree.
Now, if you say, hey, baby, I know this is what you like to do. I saw this online class that could give you a little bit extra shit. Cool. Show me where it's at. I mean, let's do that. I want to grow in my profession, so I will never say, no, I don't want that. However, I am also not going to be talked down to.
Boom.
Or made to feel like I am less than. That's not what this is.
Okay. Agreed. Respect. Because I think that's a broader issue within our amazing community and culture. We sometimes don't want to receive, I think, constructive criticism. So I was trying to use that money thing as a word, but there's different areas. I think sometimes we gotta have to check ourselves, and we always take it as kind of hate or it matters how it's given to us. It's like sometimes, yeah, the structure, the way it's given might not be the best, but you need to take the meat of what's being said. And yeah, if you out here broke, and I'm saying you need to step it up and get some more money, you need to step it up and get some more money. But I understand also at the same time, the message, the way the message is delivered is just as important sometimes as the content.
Right. Well, Zaine.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
I could sit here and talk to you about some shit for a long, long time.
Oh, yeah, that's what we do. But wait, before I leave, I'm all about pumping for rain. So the AIDS walk is coming up, correct?
Yes.
That's what I'm looking for. It's a banner. You make me sick. And I can't find it. But yes, the AIDS walk is coming up. It's the first weekend in May. This year, as it was last year, it will be virtually. However, hey, that doesn't mean that it can't be fun. You can get people together in your neighborhood, grab your coworkers, walk in a park. You can just stand in a park and spin around if you want to. However,
with some bubbles,
love for you to come out and be a part. It's one of my favorite things throughout the year. I love it. I love it. I love it.
And then because I hope that there's people that are coming from all different places, like my job. Yes, the AIDS walk, and then I think rain. You can always get your rain all year round. So don't think it's just.
Or you can come volunteer in the office.
So many opportunities. So I want to make sure that we make sure that you are giving or that you are involved with RAIN because they have an amazing mission and purpose out here. All right.
Oh, you make it sound so sweet. All right, guys, that's our time. And as our leader always says, getting tested is sexy.
Bye, y'all. See you next week.
Bye, y'all. Have a good evening.